So yeah, there's a freshly taped screen.
See.
This is the cyan screen, so.
Look at that.
It's gonna be
What
tight.
mesh is that? That's a 2.
This is a 305.
305.
Yeah, we're running all 305s today, and we're running a 50 line per inch halftone, so it's a very tiny dot. So the tinier the dot, like just like your TV, the more information, the more dots, like clearer picture. Yeah, should turn out good.
Looks like you haven't done this enough.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
This press has never printed a shirt.
Oh.
This is a Riley Hopkins 300, 6-color, 4-station. Very durable, easy to use press.
Something where we can print forever, right?
Oh yeah.
The black.
So yeah, what I would do is set up the black, and then it's kind of the print order would be light to dark, but registration would be kind of the opposite.
Okay.
So the print head isn't down, right? So we have center lines on every pallet, and we have center lines in our artwork right down the middle. So we're just going to justify the center lines. We're going to match them up. And if you can see right here, the frame is perfectly aligned with the end or the edge of my platen. So I'm in line right here, I'm in line right there. I'm going to go ahead and lock it into the screen clamp. Now that I'm locked in, now I'll make any adjustments from there if I need to, right? So it's lower right here and higher down here. So what I'll do is adjust our off contact, or our tilt. This is our tilt. So I'm going to bring this down. See how it went down? Did it kind of fast, but I'm going to bring that down. Now it's lower down here, which is kind of like not exactly what you want, but it's okay.
Okay.
And I'll also say that when you got halftones here and you got a high mesh, you're not laying a lot of ink down. Your off contact, it's easier to work with lower off contact. Now, if we have this really close off contact and we're doing like a 110 mesh and white ink, it's gonna want to stick to it because you got so much ink, like surface area.
Around there, yeah.
Right, but in this case, we're laying down a thin layer, and we have it's not a really like solid ink deposit. So I'm okay with this fairly low off contact. But you definitely don't want it laying on the shirt after you print it, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm locking that in. Now I'm going to loosen the print head. I'm going to use these micros to just line it in the middle, yeah. So this one right here, all it does is move it back and forth. All right. So put it right in the middle. I'm going to look at where that one is.
So you want it right down the middle, right?
Right down the middle and matching right here.
Yep.
So we've got it, we've got it lined up both ways. So I'll lock the print head in.
X and Y.
X and Y. Let it drop, make sure it drops in the same spot. Man, I don't like the off contact, it's too high for me.
Sometimes, like if you don't drop it hard and then you go printing, sometimes this is kind of mean.
Yeah. It's too high for me. So I'm gonna do this one more time. If I can't get it the way I like it, we're gonna loosen the bolts and do it that way. But I generally only loosen all the bolts if I have to. I don't really want it. Or I could bring that like you did that. That brings up the back, and then I'll lower the front a little bit. That's better.
Yeah, so you don't want it too high or too low.
Right. I'm liking that more. And then, yeah, you want to adjust your off contact before you register. Because if you get it all registered, but your off contact isn't right, you're gonna have to change it. It's gonna get out of registration.
And that's for all your print heads.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll roll with that. With CMYK, you generally would print in this certain print area, lightest to darkest. It would be white underbase, yellow, magenta, cyan, and then black. If you're not getting the look that you want, or you want to experiment a little bit, you switch the print order and it can make the print look different. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll print different orders, but we'll start kind of with the baseline, which will be underbase, yellow, magenta, cyan, and black.
Black being your last.
Black being your last usually, but you know, different printers will probably give you different answers.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the way I run it.
I always kind of tend to print black last.
Yeah.
Last as well. Yeah. Black.
Ties it all together.
It ties it all in.
Lightest to darkest.
Yep.
Cool. So the way we're going to register this, we're going to print the black ink on a white shirt, and we're going to register our other screens to it.
Perfect.
A lot of printers would put the film down and register everything to a film. I don't do it that way. I have done it that way a lot. I just don't feel like I really need to. This way works for me. So I roll with it that way.
I think in the past I kind of actually did, you know, with the film.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
works.
I figured the micros, and I just started doing it that way.
Yeah.
I don't use the
Film works great.
Oh, and then you use what type of glue do you use?
So this is Top Bond. This is a liquid adhesive. And we're gonna go not too crazy with this. I'm gonna apply it with the scrub brush. And this stuff's great because you're not spraying aerosol and getting the mist all over your press, and you know, dust stuff loves to stick to that.
Right. How many shirts do you think you can get out of just that?
Just that?
Yeah, right there.
At least 100. And then when this loses its tack, what you do is you get a little bit of water, you flash it, get a little bit of water, or use more adhesive, and you can get the lint off of here and re-tack it.
Oh, okay.
It's good. You can like bring it back to life.
Bring it back to life.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of do with the spray.
Mm-hmm.
When it loses contact, I will put it back in the flash, and then kind of, you know, retouch it up, and then when you touch it, it's nice and
Definitely, yeah. Heat activated.
Heat activation. There you go. How often do you change your tape? When are you gonna do that?
I change it when it can't be revived. Like, you know, if it's got thread or it's got kind of particles in here that you can't really get off, it's gonna leave a indentation in your print. Yeah, it'll show up on the print. You don't want that.
I've seen some people put a coin under here.
Oh yeah.
Because they say, you know, the coin will work.
It's an old crusty screen printer trick for sure.
Or the other one is a piece of cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a video that I made in here.
So what ink are we using when you're
We're using Process Black. This is CCI Process Black. It's cool. What's fun with CMYK, as soon as we print the black layer, like, it's gonna look good just as
I'm sure.
a black print. Yeah.
Who's gonna hit it?
That's hit it? You. That's all you.
Yeah. That's all me.
Yep.
All right. Let's do it. You see it? Should I just print it the way I do it? Normally do it?
Sure. Beautiful.
I do it once. You know?
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah. That's what we
Cool.
get.
All right, so we'll flash that. So have you printed much with 305s?
No, I have not, but I just seen that it has a very low ink deposit.
Right, yeah.
So might have want to hit it twice.
But also, like, the first print, when there's no ink in there, it doesn't go through as easily before it's kind of like...
Then it starts bulking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with 305s, I noticed you usually have to hit it twice.
Yeah.
Just because the mesh is so tight, it doesn't let the ink
And
through
I
as
can
easily.
see the ink just hanging out there.
Yeah. Oh, it's still on the screen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can kind of see it hanging out right here. You see it hanging out right here.
Cool. So we'll give that one more so we can see those reg marks.
There we go.
There we go. There we go.
That's it. What do you think, Steven?
Looks good, looks good. So we got good definition. I don't see a lot of dot gain, which is nice with these 305 screens. We're maintaining our tiny dot size. So if we printed this through a 200 or a 230, every single dot, when you really bear down on it and print it and push it through the mesh, every dot will get bigger. And that's how you lose detail, because those dots touch each other, and then the detail kind of goes away.
Oh.
I'm gonna give you my rundown of how to register.
Go for it.
We're gonna flash that a little longer. Gotta make sure it's dry all the way. We're registering our cyan color to our black color. And if you wanna get in here, you can see our reg marks. We're way off right here, right? So how do we get these into registration? First thing we do is loosen our print head. We've unlocked the print head, so now we are able to use the micro adjusters to get this color registered with the black. The way I do it, I'm gonna go ahead and get these, what I call horizontal lines, into registration. So the way I do that is to look at my left registration mark, and I'm gonna turn my left micro, and I'm gonna get those center lines into registration right about there. Now I'm gonna do the same with these. I'm gonna bring that into registration, if you can see it. Boom, right there. And then I'm gonna make an adjustment on this side, make sure they're both in. And then now I've got all of these horizontal lines into registration. The last thing I'm gonna do is move the whole screen over so that all of our vertical lines will match up. And if you have not zeroed out your press, then you may have to unclamp it and move it.
Move it.
Yep.
Okay.
So the thing we
like-
didn't do, we didn't put this in with the center lines really. We just kind of like put it in the
Put it in
screen.
there,
Yeah. But it's always good to demonstrate registration with it pretty far out, because it like helps you understand a little bit better.
The whole process of doing it.
Right. So I'm gonna put this back at 0, and you can see this little notch right here.
Little V.
Yep.
V notch.
I'm gonna put that notch right in the middle. So we're zeroing out our press, and then we're gonna unclamp the screen, and we're gonna get it close. Yep.
Shift it right over.
Shift it right over.
There you go.
Now we're going to keep whole print head still unlocked, but we're gonna clamp our screen in. And make sure we check our off contact is still good and we don't have to adjust it. Yeah, it's still okay. So now with our micros, we'll do the same process, only it's much closer at this point. So I'm only looking really at the horizontal lines. I'm not looking at the verticals. I'm not focused on the vertical lines.
So your main focus will be the horizontals, right?
The horizontals this way.
Okay.
Yep. And then as we finish, we'll pull the screen over that way or that way.
Okay. I
See, those are fairly locked in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we'll finish by using this one to pull it right in. Boom.
Oh, there.
Looks pretty good, right? So
Yeah.
get the horizontals in first, then use this one to get the vertical over.
Okay.
Now we'll lock that in. And you kind of want to not come in too hot when you're locking your screen in, because it can kind of move things a little bit.
You just gently want to go ahead and do it. Okay.
Right, gently each one.
Yeah.
And now we're going to lift our screen up and we're going to drop it back and we're going to check our registration. Because oftentimes what can happen is when you wrench down on it and clamp it down, it can kind of tweak a little bit and change.
So I did notice on like when you lower your print head, well, some of them are kind of hard. Do you have to adjust it to be like that, where you have to slide it in there, or?
It's just that the press is brand new.
Oh, okay.
Is part of it.
Breaking in.
Yeah, just breaking in. It's never even had. It's probably had screens clamped into it in the factory at Riley Hopkins.
So generally speaking, how much time does it take to line up a 6-color job?
6-color job. Well, if we quantify that with 5 minutes per, that's a lot. Feels like a lot, but
so now we see that it shifted over, right?
mm-hmm. So at first we're gonna flash in between each color, and we do that just so we don't gum up the bottom of our screens with ink, you know.
Okay.
But then we'll try it wet on wet, and we'll kind of compare the differences. But in the past, I've found that when you flash in between, the colors pop quite a bit more. And if we're doing the white underbase and the CMYK on top, then you pretty much have to flash. You don't want to print wet on wet with white underbase. Or you at least have to flash the underbase, and then you can run the CMYK wet on top of that if you want.
Yeah, I've watched a few videos and they said, you know, like wet on wet is good when you're doing CMYK because the colors, I guess, tend to blend more.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually what happens, but some people actually like just doing it wet on wet.
They do, yeah. So we used to teach a class here, and we just do it both ways, like I was saying, just so you can kind of see the outcome, because, you know, it depends on the nature of the art. Like, you might like it better flashed, or you might like it better wet on wet. It just depends.
And then, what do you use, the backside of this shirt, or do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Some people, you know,
He would want that shirt. Veer would.
Veer, you want it?
Not the white one, only black one.
Then we'll just. I go to the neckline. Is that normally what you do?
Yeah, just about. I think this one's set up a little bit low.
Nice and flat, right?
Nice and flat. Maybe
Counts a
I
lot.
don't think it's gonna hit that tag, but
Oh, yeah, that's another thing
go,
too.
there you
Make sure those tags, because I've actually had where
yeah,
one time it printed, it's like
on your tag.
weird, you know, you get more ink deposit on this side. And
Right.
all that.
So then on this one, you kind of start with yellow, and I'll load you up with the ink.
Yellow.
Yellow.
So we go under base first, though, right?
Not on the white.
Oh, that's right. How
Yeah,
this
we're
is
just gonna run it
Look at that.
straight CMYK.
Yeah.
Let's see. Go ahead and put that one down, and I'll load you up with ink.
Oh yeah.
Pretty high.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Not bad.
Let's get a nice clean print, right?
Oh yeah, I just got ink all over
So
that
bright.
squeegee, dude. Look at that.
So.
Rookie.
Like I said, I usually like to flood.
Just watch that ink on the squeegee, because it'll get on your thumb.
One. Let the magic show. We'll throw it on the flasher. We'll let it sit for 10.
Yeah.
Make sure it's dry. Lift this guy up.
Let me put on your cyan. Let me put on your cayenne.
So I definitely see the difference on this thing.
Oh yeah, it's not nearly as opaque.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll go with our red. Make sure this is actually locked. I like to print with my thing being locked. Two. And we'll throw it in the flash. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Nice stroke. 1, 2, ink to go through. Starting to see the actual picture there.
Oh yeah.
And then our last will be our black, huh?
Yep.
So we'll see it turn into.
Should really tie the room together.
Not what I was expecting to see.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That's pretty rad.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
So flood it again. 1, 2. 1, 2. You guys ready?
Looks good.
That is great. That is great. That's right. Very, very rad. What do you think, Steven?
Looks good. I like it.
What do you think, Graham? Throw it in the conveyor dryer? Is this something you'll wear? I like that.
Not yet.
Now let me ask you this, Steven.
Yo.
On a CMYK, do you still do the stretch?
Stretch test. You don't really have a solid area of ink to be able to do the stretch test, but yeah, you can do it and see. I'm trying to remember when the last time I did that would be. I don't know.
And ta-da! This is final product. CMYK. Feel for it. Very, very soft. Not too
What's that?
solid.
Instead of 2, like 3 passes with the and get a little more ink through is going to create more saturated look.
So you will hit your yellow 3 times, your red 3 times. Or you hit
Maybe
your
not your black.
but not your black 3 times, because then
Yeah.
that's when you're gonna start
Yeah. Muddy it up.
muddy it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one we're using the underbase, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Popping more on the.
I feel like the one that we flashed
Yeah.
looks like more vibrant
Yeah.
than wet on wet.
It's going to be an underbase for the other colors to rest on top of. It's kind of like a primer coat, an underbase, so the top colors pop a little bit more. Otherwise, you're not really going to see CMYK on black shirts. You're not going to see it very well. So these are testers. We're going to flash both with the underbase, and we're going to do one where we flash the colors in between.
And then one where we don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had to hit that one like 3 times to get this white ink through, because this is a 305 mesh.
Okay.
And the white is kind of sticking to my screen. It's not really clearing as much as I want it to, but it looks good.
That'll do it.
You can see there's a lot of white where the red's gonna lay on top of, and that's good, because it'll make that red pop. Yeah. And we could, if we wanted to take it a step further, we could even flash print the white, like 2 layers of white, and then run the CMYK on top.
Oh, you could do that.
If we were running just a 1 color black or white ink on black shirts, we could just print that again and flash it again, and it'll look pretty good
that's
too.
it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few things you can do to kind of make your print look different. Print, flash print with the,
With this first one, right?
yeah. And while that one's drying, you can run the other one if you want, the yellow on that. The image is so low on the, it's burned so low. That's how we always burn them. It's very low.
And then
No,
on
it's
this
all right.
one, we're not drying.
Right. I wonder if it's just the press or like, usually doing like 5 inches down.
The, it's like just over 5 inches down
To the reg mark or to the?
to the design.
No, you have to get it to
Oh,
be
that's
at
what I'm saying.
4 inches.
You wouldn't want to do that. You would prefer if the collar was hanging off the platform.
Yeah, I basically have two preferences. I like the edge of the platen to be flush with the screen, and I also like that
What?
shirt to just hang off the platen. But that's a combination that you have to like calculate to get it to work out that way, right?
This would make sense. When I was placing.
So on the black, would you hit it with the black to finish off?
Yeah. You don't have to, like you see how it looks,
Yeah, it
but
looks-
there's a lot of black in the image that I would try it. I would hit it.
Ta-da. Oh yeah.
Very nice. So that first one was flash and this is wet on wet, correct?
Yep.
Cool.
So we'll let it dry for a bit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
looks good, looks good.
For sure, I like the flash.
I want to do one, I want to print the underbase so the white is,
Okay, I want to see that process.
yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. Move this. On this one, we did it on the back side, huh?
So I'm going to load it up with a little bit more white on this one. And I'm going to print and flash the white and add another layer of white. So we have two
I
layers of
wanna make
white,
sure that
and I
this is nice
think
and
it's going to make
flat,
it pop
too.
a little bit more, but we'll see.
So I guess we are using a what? All style, which is a very common shirt. I'll let Steven, you want to load it. I usually like to go twice, just open it up. So we'll hit it with the underbase,
How many times?
3 times.
What do you think?
Should do that one for seconds.
Yeah, so I'm flooding it, obviously, and then stroke it. 1, 2, 3. Whoop. So you can kind of see more of the ink there.
Sorry,
We'll do
did
the
you,
same process on this one
Ability to change it.
because you want to see the difference, right? So,
What were you gonna say?
You did it in Ultraceps? And you previewed the seps with white on, or did you just kind of, you can usually tell kind of more or less how it's going to look.
I did it once actually. Once of the yellow, once of the red, one cayenne.
So
And
if
then
you
one
want to, lay down a little more ink, like slow your print stroke down a tiny bit, and really just put a little pressure, but not on the second one, because anytime you're gonna lay another layer on top, it's gonna like come through easier, right? Because it's going down on ink instead of
Okay, so you
the
go
fabric.
slower on. So not on this though.
So I would do 2 layers on this
2 layers of white.
white, a print flash print.
Let's try it.
I feel like if you did all those strokes with the colors,
One.
back with the top white to kind of,
Get rid of that. Let me see it.
you know what I mean? Like,
Great.
Yeah.
See it?
it looks good.
Oh, I see. There's more white now.
Now you can really do it.
We'll do the same thing with this guy.
There's a lot of ink.
See, this one's a little
And now I want to run the same print with like a 65 line per inch halftone, because that's where you get into like super high photo quality.
One.
The only thing about the smaller the halftone dots, the harder it is to get a good screen, because any bit of dust or hair or like any little particle will blow out your halftones. And like I've tried to burn halftones of someone's face before. Like you got any like particle in there, it'll just look crazy. It'll look like they got a wart or something.
So you said on, so now we did a print flash, right? And we did multiple strokes on this. But on this layer, you would go one pass.
Yeah, I go 3 passes.
3 pass.
But
so
flash only once.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. It gets confusing when people are like, I hit it twice. And they're like, does that mean you print, flash, print? Or
you can see a big difference where I see less white on that
What?
and more white on that. I mean, you can see where it's really sticking on. Yeah. So on this one, I guess I'm gonna do
just got stuck in
same
there.
process. Blood. And then one, two.
I actually think that looks pretty good. But you're right, the blank in the hood got a little bit crazy.
See what the difference is here. Yeah, more blown out. It pops out more. This one's more like saturated there, settled down.
We haven't even changed the print order. We're printing in the same exact order, you know what I mean? You can switch it up even more if you change the print order. If you're doing a print run, right, say we're doing 100 shirts, you really want to do each one of them the same. And that's down to like the amount of times you're running the squeegee over it, how much pressure you're putting on.
Yeah,
you really want to keep
Yeah.
it consistent, yeah.
Just to get that fresh, identical print.
Yep.
Yeah.
That way, shirt number 1 is gonna look like shirt number 100,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that looks good.
But I do definitely see the difference on this material than that one. I mean, this one looks more like a finer, soft in the shirt. Brighter too.
Dude, that's the best one so far.
Oh, you already put the red down.
Seriously.
Yeah, so this is blue. It's like,
Looks good to me. Who printed that one?
the guys at Eden then.
There you go. Loud and proud, baby. Dude, that looks good.
I want to add the black on there because I think that's, I did blue twice.
Yeah?
So I did print, flash, print, flash.
Looks
I
great.
like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
liking that. Shit, I want to buy one, dude. How much are those?
Oh, see, that's where I was gonna hit it twice, but yeah, I actually can see a difference though on when you use like a heavier material.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see it that pops out a little bit more.
Definitely the material and the weave of the material is going to change the way the prints look for sure. And you know, I think we're printing on some test prints, so they've been washed before, and the material will act different in that regard too.
So when you're pulling them off the pallet, let me ask you this: what do you recommend?
So if there's a lot of adhesive on it, like there is kind of now, I'll come in and I'll pop it at the bottom like that, and then do the top. And really what you're going for is to not distort your print if you can help it.
Right.
If you go slow and stretch it out that way, a lot of times it'll distort. But if you pop the bottom of the print first, and then usually comes out good.
Magic. This one's more vibrant, I think. That's what I think. It's more vibrant. That one has more of like a flatter feel. The other thing I noticed on this one is you can kind of see like the little, what is it called? Would it be not the cotton kind of pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I think this shirt's been washed, and it's not as soft of a cotton definitely as this one. It's heavier material, so yeah, the print's gonna lay on there differently.
So now we're gonna throw it to the dryer.
Throw it through the dryer.
I usually like to have mine nice and flat, like I think I mentioned it, just so I can get that nice precise. Ta-da!
Looking good.
Looking good. Perfect. Oh yeah. So let's do a comparison here. We let the camera decide what looks good. But definitely I like that, I see more detail in that, you know, print flash. Print flash.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously because you're depositing more color into it too. You see a little bit more white, more of the white. You know, more of like that reflecting.
Right, because you print flash print.
Right.
Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, if you look at the headlights in the car on the top right, you can see the white doing its thing.
Right.
A lot right there. It's cool. Actually looks like headlights.
Yeah. Ta-da.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Nice work. Nice work.
Magic.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. I'd like to thank Digner and Nelson for coming from Eden SF Prints. It's been a pleasure having you guys in the shop today, hanging out, get to know you a little bit better, having some coffee, and making this cool print. If you guys want to check out Eden SF Prints, check them out on the internet. What's your guys' web address?
We have Instagram, tag is EdenSF Prints, Facebook at EdenSF Prints as well, and our website, which is EdenSFPrints.com. So that's where we're at. That's where you can find us.
Thank you, Steve, for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. It was a pleasure doing the print. Came out pretty good.
Looks good.
Learned a little bit about
Amazing.
CMYK today.
CMYK printing. There you go.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Check us out on the next one and keep on printing.
I like that.